Yetta Gurtner is an adjunct senior lecturer and coordinator of Centre for Disaster Studies at James Cook University and joins us now live. Yetta, very good afternoon to you. Does it make it worse for people that this has been prolonged? People were prepared, they were told to be prepared, and now there's an extra period of time to wait before impact.
We actually consider that a bonus. It gives people time to be better prepared, to do those last minute checks, check over their house, make sure they've got sufficient supplies, and be prepared for the situation. So it may increase anxiety a little bit, but feel free to talk about it, talk to your friends, check on your neighbours is a really good opportunity. You've got time now to do that.
What are the biggest things that people will face once the storm hits? What do they have to get their heads around to be prepared for?
So one of the first things we talk about is prepare for disruptions. Quite likely with debris coming around, you might lose your electricity. So that is the idea of having sufficient food that doesn't necessarily need to be cooked or non-perishable food. And having that AM/FM radio, because you may not be able to access the television or even your internet anymore. So being prepared in terms of road closures may happen, so check your disaster dashboard, your local councils about where those closures may be. There may be disruptions to water, so that's having that sufficient water for everyone in the household as well, and also sufficient for cleaning. So just looking at those things and following official advice about where to go and what services are available and when to leave your house.
While it's Sorry, Yetta, while it's happening, what's the advice on people who are staying in their home? Where should they be in their home?
So the idea of shelter in place is the safest room in your house is usually the smallest smallest room with the least windows. It may be in the hallway. It may actually be somewhere like under the stairs. It's usually on the lowest level of your house, and as I said, away from windows if possible. So being also aware that sewage can come up through toilets and drains, so you need to block them off.
The emergency services will be terribly busy during the storm. What's your advice to people if they do need some help, but it's not necessarily an emergency?
So emergency services prioritise life. They're there to support the community, but they also have to be considerate of the safety of their members, whether they're volunteers or staff. So they will only go out when it's safe for their members to go out. So we consider, looking after your own needs first if you can. If you've got basic first aid skills, apply basic first aid, and please be patient with those emergency service responders. They're there to help, but they have to consider their life as well.
When considering the time frame of this, the storm will last hours into perhaps a whole day, but is it possible that people have to prepare to be in their homes for a lot longer?
So recent cyclone events in North Queensland have demonstrated that you can be cut off because the roads are cut off. There could be trees so you can't get in and out of your house. There also may be supply chain issues. After an event, we also often had flooding, which can also delay access. So we recommend 5 to 7 days worth of non-perishable foods in your household. The more you have available to yourselves, the less you have to worry about getting out when it's not necessarily safe.
Communications, I just want to go into that a bit more. How important, we're giving advice about, getting radios, making sure you've got batteries. How important is it on both sides of this, the emergency reaction to it and you in your own home, that you do have communication means?
So telecommunications can quite often go out. So you may lose access to regardless of which service provider, you may lose access. So we always recommend having a redundancy, which is your AM/FM battery operated radio. There's nothing worse than being in an uncertain situation and having no communication or awareness of the outside world. So the radio will provide that point of contact if you need it.
We talked about it briefly, Yetta, but this is causing a lot of anxiety for a lot of people. Obviously, some will sail through and be okay, but it does cause a lot of anxiety, and the anxiety continues through the actual event and with the consequences afterwards, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Look, there's two types of people: those who are apathetic and she'll be right and not worry about it and don't plan, and those who get very anxious. Anxiety is normal. There's a high degree of uncertainty. The better prepared you are, the less that anxiety is. But we do recommend to talk about it with your friends, your family, Express how you're feeling. It's quite healthy to do so. And if necessary, seek help. There are a number of community hotlines available for you to call.
Yetta Gurtner, we appreciate your advice. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.